with us now here at Film TV Studios is Marla Renteria, who will be talking to us on this interview segment. Marla, welcome to the Pulse.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's our pleasure. Please tell our audience about yourself before we go into some questions.
So, my name is Marla Renteria. I am born and raised in Reno, Nevada. I moved down to Las Vegas back in 2008, when I went to law school. When I moved here with my son. He was 3 years old. That's when I made the decision to go to law school because I knew I needed to provide a better life for him. I've been living in Henderson now I actually moved to Henderson in 2010 when he was going to start school. And I have been living and working in my community. I've been a public defender now for over a decade. I am now seeking this position to run for Henderson Justice Court Department 1. The biggest reason I'm seeking is to give back to my community. I think we lack representation on the bench.
Yes.
I think it's important that we have people who care about the safety of our community, but that also care about the rights and dignity of our neighbors. And so that's the biggest reason I've decided to run at this time.
Well, I'm glad you're running. You're a Nevada native.
I am.
You were born here.
So what kind of cases are usually brought to the Henderson Justice Court Department 1?
So Henderson Justice Court actually handles criminal cases. Misdemeanors primarily are the cases that get adjudicated as far as the criminal matters. They also handle the initial hearings for felony and gross misdemeanor cases, determinations of probable cause. We also handle small claims,
Yes.
Civil litigation with the loss amount of $15,000 or less, evictions, traffic matters, I'm trying to remember if I caught everything, and temporary protective order cases. So it's a wide variety of cases, but primarily those are the things. I might have missed a thing or two, but that's where we're at.
It's good to know. We're educating ourselves here, Joe. Okay?
Yes. So this is an open seat during this election brought about by the departure of Clark County Judge Sam Bateman. How many of you are vying for this seat, and what made you join the contest?
So I actually have 5 opponents. So in addition to me, there are 6 people running for this seat. Again, the biggest reason that I put my name in, and I was one of the last to file, is because I think I bring a different perspective to the court that a lot of other people do not. I am the only person of color that is running in this race. I am the only public defender running in this case. So I've dedicated my life to representing the people,
Yes.
to representing indigent people, a lot of people that I think our community forgets and wants to throw away. And I want to be very clear, when I talk about representing indigent people or people who cannot afford an attorney, a lot of those are the working poor. We're not talking about, everyone wants to talk about homeless people. These are a lot of people who hold steady jobs, 40 hours of work, but they just can't make ends meet, which is why they qualify for a public attorney. I think it is important that the bench represents our community, that our bench actually cares about the people that are coming before it. Yes, consequences have to be imposed and those types of things have to happen, but we have to care about the human beings that are appearing before us in court, particularly because in justice court, a lot of the individuals who will appear there will actually not be entitled to court-appointed counsel or representation. So it's very important that you have a fair judge who is mindful of the human beings that are appearing before them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why it's good to have people from public defender's office, trying to run for judgeship, because it's like the job is community-based. The more you know about the community, So one of your strong opponent in the race is Sandra Already Giacomo, a career prosecutor. Which side do you stand on the individualized hearings for bail, as in the Valdez-Jimenez ruling? So
the Valdez-Jimenez ruling, interesting enough, was actually done through casework done by other people in my office. It's something I am very, I support very much. I don't think we can make determinations. People are not numbers.
Yes.
People are people. There's individual issues with regards to accusations that are made against them and individual circumstances that must be taken into account so that we are carefully crafting release conditions for, remember, these are for people who have not yet been found guilty of anything. So the presumption of innocence matters very much to me, but I also understand that safety of the community and ensuring people come back to court is very important. These determinations have to be individualized. You cannot have a standard chart of where we classify people that way. People just do not fit into those kinds of charts. It is important that we are conducting these hearings, and that these hearings are not just something we do for the sake of doing, to say, oh yeah, I had a hearing, and then you're still setting standard bail amounts, as they call it. We really need to be evaluating how we can release people and ensure safety of the community. The benefit to that ruling that came out, quite frankly, is the court diversified what is available for release. We have varying levels of monitoring where we can actually provide individuals the equipment. So if they're too poor and don't have their own cell phone, or they don't have a fixed address, they can still be supervised. And so it has given us a wide variety of release conditions, and not just rely on monetary bail, which quite frankly benefits the wealthy.
Yes, and then it's like that it's not a standard that according to the, Valdez Jimenez ruling that, oh, give us like 3 to 4 days to decide,
No.
Because actually there are, if I'm correct, there are just certain respondents and defendants that can just be released on their own recognizance, correct? Yeah.
Correct.
Marla, we're almost out of time for this segment. This is your opportunity to talk to the voters, especially in the film community. What would you like to tell them? This is your pitch.
So the one thing I do want to say is I'm not a politician, so I apologize that I don't have just some canned speech.
Yes.
But the fact of the matter is this: I'm running for this position because I care about my community.
Yes.
I care about the people in my community. I care about the safety of our community, but I also care about primarily the dignity of the human beings that will appear before me every day. A lot of times, a litigant who comes into court who feels seen, heard, and understood is more willing to accept whatever ruling is made by the court, even if that ruling is contrary to their position. Confidence in the judicial system is extremely important, particularly at this very beginning level. It's where most of our community members are going to first encounter the justice system, and if they don't believe in that, they're not going to believe in anything else going forward. So I truly believe I'm the candidate that is most qualified for this position. I have the most wide array of experience. I highly encourage you to vote for me for Henderson Justice Court Department 1, and quite frankly, we will make history because I will be the first Latina elected to that bench. I will be the first person of color elected if I succeed.
Marla Renteria, Deputy Public Defender, running for Henderson Justice Court Department 1. Thank you for talking to us today here at the polls. Good luck on your race.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me here.
It's our pleasure.